Starting from the front row of the grid, Ashton Yates with a lap record in the qualifying session. He was able to take the pole by 0.2 of a second from Jason Uribe and Andrew Lee. JD Beach, 0.8 of a second down in the qualifying session. He was the race one winner.
Yeah, Jason Waters there. We talked to him in the middle of the second row with Dion Campbell right behind him.
Yeah, good performance by Dion in yesterday's race as well, to be able to come away with a top 10 finish in 7th spot. We've got a 33 rider field for this Stock 1000 race. And when you look further down the order, Rog, with all the action we can have around here, plenty of opportunities for riders to make some progress through the field.
Yeah, and there's going to be battles going all the way out throughout the field. You know, we got a championship battle, but we also have a lot of guys battling for their best result of the year.
And you can see for all the riders making their way around now, and 35 riders set to line it up here for this 8-lap race. Ashton Yates on the pole on the number 27 Honda, as our field gets ready for the red lights to come on, and 8 laps of Stock 1000 action about to get underway. A 3-way championship decider is underway, and Ashton Yates didn't make the best of starts from that pole position. Look like Jason Uribe's able to take the whole shot down in towards turn 1. JD Beach in that 4th position as Andrew Lee tries to muscle his way up into P2, but it looks like Ashton Yates has been able to hold on to that 2nd spot. And we'll see.
And Jason's did a great job this first opening lap, putting his head down. You can tell he's already trying to break away from JD, not giving him that opportunity to take those shots like he did yesterday. And Andrew Lee now worked his way past Ashton down the back straightaway, but Ashton fights right back on the brakes.
Yeah, 2.5 cushion over Rocco Landers after one lap.
And that's just what he needs to do these first opening laps, is try to follow these guys as long as possible, get a nice little gap to 5th place, and then he can start slowing down a little bit, not take as many chances.
We saw Ashton Yates with a lap record in the qualifying session. He's putting the pressure on JD Beach here through the S's. We'll see if he's able to get close enough to try and attack on his fellow Honda rider Ashton Yates in that section, and just come closer and closer to Uribe. A lot faster on the brakes into turn 11. We'll see if that translates on the exit as well. A lot of times, Rog, it's a fast in, slow out corner, or slow in, fast out corner for the riders. So it's about trying to pick your poison almost through there.
Yesterday's fastest lap for JD Beach was a 10.7. Jason Uribe a 10.6. Today, the race pace is almost a full half a second quicker.
Yeah, and obviously we're a little bit earlier in the day. Track temperature a little bit lower than it was yesterday. But as we've said already, conditions very tricky out there. And having that bit of extra knowledge of what happened yesterday allows the riders to push that little bit harder earlier in the race, and Uribe certainly pushing as hard as he can to try and open up a little bit of a margin. In the first sector, he pulled out a 1/10 of a second on JD Beach. In the second sector, he pulled out a few hundredths of a second as well. But on this lap, it's JD Beach that's the fastest rider in the group, and he pulls a 1/4 of a second on Yates behind him, and back a 1/10 of a second on our race leader, Jason Uribe. And Uribe's at that point of the race now where in yesterday's race we were able to see just how strong that JD Beach came in that second half. And in sector 2, with that slipstream, Beach able to pull back that time again, and they've now dropped Ashton Yates. Yates just falling that extra little bit of time behind, and suddenly it becomes that 2-rider battle at the front. Andrew Lee still 4th position in a championship winning spot. See now for JD Beach as we're moving towards that second half of the race, if he's able to put himself in a position to attack Uribe.
For JD, this is a big lap for him. He's got it under a second. He also wants to keep the pressure on Jason too, in case he makes a mistake. Last lap, it was JD takes 3/10 out that last lap.
3 seconds behind Ashton Yates, 3 seconds in front of Rocco Landers, and that looks like it's the 77 of Davies that's gone down. Beach has pulled back a lot of time now in this final sector. A strong run through turn 15 and down in towards those last couple of corners as well, and Beach should have that gap under half a second. It's 3/10 of a second now for JD Beach, and he's still lapping in the 2:10s. No one else in the field in the 2:10s, and he's closing right up here on Jason Uribe. Pulls back a lot of time on the brakes into turn 1. Very much in position to attack. Does Beach try and make a move into turn 11 on this lap, or does he wait until the last lap?
I think he's not close enough to really make a move.
Let's see for JD Beach on the run down the hill in towards turn 11. This is where we saw him make a few moves on Uribe in yesterday's race. Uribe able to defend that position. The final lap of the race, you'd imagine, for Andrew Lee, but he'll be trying to get this one finished as early as he can. As JD Beach with a run around the outside, turn 1 into turn 2, he takes the lead, and Rog, he's got enough track time now to be able to open up a little bit of a margin.
He's gonna have to pull a little bit of a gap on Jason. I think the BMW is really strong down the back straightaway. JD's a smart racer, you know that. He's got his head down, he's a little wide. They're forcing the issue to try to see if he can't make a little bit of a break.
Beach exits turn 11. takes towards the left-hand side of the track. Is Uribe going to have the space, or does he have to ride around the outside? Beach trying to defend that position down in towards turn 12. Jason Uribe on the 36. He's ahead before he gets the braking zone. And we'll see if he's able to get by.
He's having trouble back shifting.
JD Beach is going to come back through. And for Jason Uribe, he's led every lap up to this point. And on the final lap of the race, you could see it there, Rog, just couldn't find the gear.
Yeah, just going back a gear. And I think a lot of that, the draft had him in a little bit deep.
And JD Beach on the 95 machine, he's been able to win 4 times already this season. He's about to make it 2 race victories here at the final rounds of the season at the Circuit of the Americas. It's not going to be enough for the championship success for JD Beach, but once again we've been able to see in this race just how strong of a rider he is, combative after making that mistake to come back towards Jason Uribe. His reward is going to be that 5th race victory of the season, and the number 95 Honda has had such a strong Stock 1000 campaign, but ultimately it's going to be Andrew Lee that's going to be able to take the Stock 1000 crown. Despite this race victory for JD Beach, he lived up to his side of the bargain, but Andrew Lee with a top 4 finish will be enough to come away with his 3rd Stock 1000 National Championship. The number 14 celebrates, the Orange Cat Racing crew celebrate, and for Andrew Lee, he's been able to take this championship by just 2 points from JD Beach.
Yeah, and that just shows you how every point counts. You know, you see riders crash and get back up into the race, and that's why every point comes down to the end of the year. But Andrew Lee, hats off to Andrew. He had a great year. He rode really well. And also, you got to give credit to the team. They had no issues on their side. Yeah,
really impressive performance from the Orange Cat Racing squad to come back this year and be so strong. But JD Beach, our race winner here at the final race of the year in the Stock 1000 class, ahead of Jason Uribe and Ashton Yates. That 4th place finish, more than enough to wrap up the championship. He had 3.5 seconds in front of him to Ashton Yates, and he had a similar margin behind him to Rocco Lander. So a lonely race for Andrew, but did what he had to do, Rog.
Yeah,
ultimately, it just wasn't quite enough for him. 2 points back of Andrew Lee. Interestingly, JD would have won on a count back if they were level on points. So that 4th position, just enough for Andrew Lee.